This final video for Unit 3 is going to briefly introduce Enterotubes. And this is a tube that consists of about 12 different chambers. And in each chamber, there is the media that is specific for one of the tests we've talked about. And there are other tests that we haven't talked about that are still helpful in identifying gram-negative enteric organisms. But if you look on the slide, for instance, you can see glucose is in this first chamber. That's from one of the phenol red tests. All the way at the other end, we have the media for the citrate test. Okay, and then if you look, you can see Voges-Proskauer, the H2S and indole test. So all the different media and tests that are used to help identify an enteric is in this one single tube. And so what's really nice is instead of having to first streak on a McConkey plate and then do phenol red broths or a TSI or whatever, you can just do one single inoculation and do all of these tests simultaneously. Okay, so it only takes one day rather than 1 day per test. So what happens if we look at a picture of an actual Enterotube? On both ends of the tube, you see a blue cap and a white cap, and you can unscrew each of these caps. And on one end, the left end, it looks like an inoculating needle. Okay. On the other end, where there's the white cap, when you take that off, it's the other end of the wire, but it's in more of like a handle shape. So once you unscrew both of these caps or lids, then you will use the end of the needle at the blue end, and you will touch it to a colony of your unknown organism. And then you use the handle at the opposite end to pull that needle with the bacteria on it through all 12 chambers of the Enterotube. So if you look closely right here, you can see the wire that goes through all 12 chambers. And so again, you inoculate the bacteria on one end, and then you pull that wire through so the bacteria is introduced to all of the chambers. And then you just put the caps back on, and you stick the tube in the incubator, and you come back the next day and you read the results. Okay, so notice we have glucose here on the far left, and so these three organisms, the media turned yellow. Okay, so think of what that means for fermentation. But down here, you'll see that the tube was originally red, right? That's what phenol red normally is. It's red at neutral conditions. So we know that these three organisms were able to ferment glucose. Okay, and so you're really just looking for a color change. Remember, color change is what indicates a positive result. All right, that is the end of this video and the end of Lab Unit 3. Let me know if you have any questions.